What's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of 101 Sports and Cards. As always, I'm Nathan Holloway, and with me, Jared Josh.
What's up?
So we're going to start in the NFL. I will say that this will probably be a shorter episode. Not a lot of stuff to talk about. That will change in the upcoming weeks, though, especially the next 2 weeks with the NBA playoffs starting and the NFL draft. Starting off in the NFL, the Chargers signed Trey Lance to a 1-year deal. There was talks about him going and playing for the Canadian Football League before signing this deal. So, at least he's still in the NFL, but he's going to be a third-string quarterback again. Julio Jones announced his retirement. Best Falcons receiver of all time. One of the best wide receivers of his generation. Surefire Hall of Famer. They've put worse in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I will be giving my mock draft in 2 weeks. I was going to do it next week, but then I was like, oh, we have the NBA playoffs to, predict, and I don't want to sit here and edit a 2-hour-long video, or 2-hour-long recording. So I will be giving my mock draft in 2 weeks, which comes a day before the NFL draft. So that kind of, I would have done it today, but I didn't feel like taking the time today and making it, because I had other stuff going on. Moving on to the association, the big news coming out of this week, besides what's going on right now, between the Lakers and we'll talk about that first. Lakers and Mavericks playing right now. Luka Doncic's return to Dallas. They played a great tribute video before the game. Luka tried to hold back tears during the video. Didn't work. You could tell that
he loved Dallas.
Yeah. And I forgot that it was on. I was in the middle of writing an article, and I got the notification. I was scrolling through Twitter and or X. It's Twitter. Nobody calls it X. And saw like the tribute video, and then as soon as I turned on the game, it was so nice that on the broadcast, all you could hear was "Fire Nico" chants. So that's the biggest game of the week. There's going to be a lot of other big games coming up. But the biggest news of the week was the Nuggets decided to fire head coach Michael Malone and general manager Calvin Booth on Tuesday. This is the latest ties for the latest. Any head coach has been fired. The Nuggets have 3 games left in the season. They play the Kings tonight. They've lost 4 consecutive games. They've dropped, I believe, 7 of their last 10. Of course, they've had Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, Michael Porter Jr. They've all been in and out of the lineup over the last few weeks. But they decided that ownership, the Cronkies, if you're from St. Louis, around St. Louis, you know the Cronky name.
I don't.
They own the Rams. They're also the owner of the Nuggets. They decided to get rid of them. This was probably going to end up coming in the offseason. David Adelman has been named the interim head coach. He has been the lead assistant for Michael Malone on his staff for quite a while. Also the son of former NBA head coach Rick Adelman. I'll let you give your thoughts first. Was this a bad... I know you said that it was a bad move for the Grizzlies whenever they fired Taylor Jenkins. We both said that. Is this a bad move for the Nuggets?
Yeah. I mean, why switch up when you're going into the playoffs?
A reminder, they were the 4th seed.
Yeah.
Whenever this happened, with 3 games left in the season.
Yeah. I mean, this pretty much kills the whole playoff hopes, I think. So not only... So the players would be pissed, I think the fans would be pissed.
Well, fans are already pissed.
Yeah.
But apparently, so people, of course, you have all the dumb fans that go on, Twitter and every other social media, saying that, Jokic is going to be traded. I could see it happening. I mean, Jokic love Michael Malone. I read somewhere yesterday, whenever covering all this, that he actually had asked Michael Malone to come onto the staff at his, where's he from? Jokic is from, wherever he's from. I can't think of it off the top of my head. No, that's Luka. Maybe it is. I don't know. Wherever Jokic is from, but he wanted him to come on their coaching staff. That tells you how much of a connection him and Michael Malone had. Now, the Nuggets have been terrible. over the last few weeks. They've been terrible defensively this whole season. But this is a bad move. If you're going to do this, you do it in the off season. You do not do it with 3 games left. In the regular season, yes, the locker room's kind of gone away right now, but this is one of the most shocking. This may be the most shocking decision this season over the Luka trade because of when it happens and that the Nuggets were 4th in the Western Conference standings. In my opinion, besides the Thunder and the Warriors, the Nuggets were the next best team in the West that could go and compete for their second championship in 3 years.
Pass them, I think.
I'd put the Lakers past. I'd put the Rockets past them.
Yeah.
There's absolutely going to be no chemistry with this team. Jamal Murray's still out. He's out tonight. Well, he's doubtful for tonight, but he's going to be out. And this is a bad move. And there's going to be major changes in the offseason for the Nuggets. Expect a lot of people to move on. They're probably going to move on from Westbrook since he's a free agent. And Calvin Booth did not like what Michael Malone did with Westbrook. Jamal Murray could be on the move. Aaron Gordon could be on the move. The only safe people are Jokic, maybe,
MPJ,
and Michael Porter Jr. because the ownership loves him. Which if I'm the Nuggets, I would rather have Jamal Murray and even Aaron Gordon than Michael Porter Jr. Especially Aaron Gordon. There's no way, if they get rid of Aaron Gordon, they're stupid. Now, you can go out and say, I've said it in the past. Gordon's not that good of a player. He's a great role player.
Yeah.
He's also the team's best defender. He has greatly improved his scoring and shooting this year. And while he's been hurt a lot of the year, he is the glue guy of this team outside of Jokic. But other than that, safe to say the Nuggets are not going to make another championship run. If they do, it would be a miracle, and it would be one of the biggest upsets, I would say, after everything that's happened. Some other bad news from Tuesday night. Jalen Wells suffered a broken wrist after he was stretchered off the court against the Hornets. He took a fall. Hornets KJ Simpson Jr.
Always I know that.
Yeah, because you have his auto. Yeah. Not a good time to sell because people hate him.
Yeah.
He apologized for it later on social media. Him and Wells are actually like friends. Looking at what I don't know what he was trying to do because he kind of just went right at his legs on the dunk. Very scary situation. The good news is that it's only a broken wrist. He got transported to the hospital. I believe he got discharged from the hospital earlier today. And all he suffered was a broken wrist, which is very good. But also, it's not good for the Grizzlies because although he's a rookie, he's going to make an all-rookie team. This is a massive blow to the Grizzlies because he is one of their key role players. The Pistons clinched a playoff spot for the first time since 2018-19. It's amazing saying that. I've been saying the Pistons are going to be good for the last 3 years. They finally proved me right.
I think this year you said you was done picking them up. I think you said they won't make it this year, and they did.
Pretty sure I said they'd make at least a play-in this year. The East is so damn bad. The Thunder and Rockets are still the only teams to clinch a spot in the Western Conference playoffs. We're going to go through the West because the West right now this will change by the time you listen to this because there's 10 games tonight across the NBA. But right now, so you have the Thunder and they're going to be the top. The Thunder are the top seed. The Rockets are going to be the 2 seed. Then you have the Lakers, who have a 1-game lead over, get this, the Clippers, Nuggets, Warriors, and Grizzlies, who are all tied. And then you have the Timberwolves, who blew a 24-point lead in the fourth quarter to the Milwaukee Bucks on Tuesday. I don't exactly know how you allow that to happen, especially to a Bucks team that is just Giannis because Dame's out.
Yeah.
And then you have Sacramento, who has clinched a play-in spot. They have a 1-game lead over the Dallas Mavericks for the 9 spot. That would be huge for them to get home court advantage, especially since they announced earlier today that Malik Monk is out for the next 2 weeks. Malik Monk's having best season of his career. He's averaging 17.3 points, 5.6 assists. He's been really the only
bright spot.
The really only consistent player on the Kings this season. I mean, you could say Sabonis, but Sabonis has missed time due to injury. Well, other than Sabonis, it's Monk because DeRozan's been inconsistent. Levine's been on fire lately, but it took him long enough to actually show out with the Kings. And then the Dallas is 10. You can go ahead and eliminate the Phoenix Suns. They will be eliminated tonight if they lose to the Thunder. The Thunder are without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It doesn't matter because the Suns are without Kevin Durant. And without Kevin Durant, they're trash. They're trash even with Kevin Durant. They've lost 7 straight games. They got blown out by 38 points by the Warriors on Tuesday night. Safe to say they're going to be eliminated tonight. And we'll talk about them here in a second because I want your thoughts on something about the Suns. But first off, who do you see in this? How do you see the standings playing out? If you want to look at the standings here.
I mean, how do we get picked in? Oh, it tells you.
So just go 4 through 8. 9 and 10 is going to be Kings Mavericks.
I think LA's LA's gonna say 3. I think.
So Lakers.
Yeah.
You can't just say LA because Clippers are also.
Golden State, Minnesota, Memphis, then Denver, and then.
So you're putting Denver.
Yeah.
In the play.
Yes. And then the Clippers.
I'll give you mine. I'm going to go with the Lakers. I'm going to go with the Lakers, the Clippers. The Clippers have been one of the hottest teams of basketball. They won 8 of their last 10 games. They've won 5 straight. Then I'm going to go with the Warriors, the Nuggets. This could change. This could definitely change my feelings tonight on how they perform against the Kings. But we're not there yet. And then I believe it's going to be the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies in the play. Now, the Timberwolves, their loss last night, their 24-point blown lead, was a massive one because they have the tiebreaker over every team in front of them in the standings, which would have gave them the 3rd seed if the Lakers were to blow it and they were to win out. And the difference between being an 8 seed and playing in the play-in, and then, hoping that you get the 7 seed because nobody wants to play the Thunder in the first round. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to play the Rockets in the first round either. So either way, that's 7-8. You're basically screwed.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that. The East, there's still a lot of different things in the East. I'm not too worried about the East just because the main 2 teams are the Cavs and the Celtics. Because other than that, maybe the Pacers. The Pacers have been on fire. They've been probably the hottest team in basketball over the last few weeks. The Cavs did clinch the top seed in the Eastern Conference. So now we're going to move on to the Suns. Suns, 7 straight losses. They're eliminated with a loss to the Thunder tonight. Probably going to happen. Is this the worst? Before I ask this question, they are, I'll remind the audience, they have the largest payroll of any team in NBA history. They're under 500. They're going to miss the playoffs. Is this the worst Big 3? And possibly most disappointing team ever.
I don't know if it's the most disappointing team ever. It's definitely the most Big 3 of all time, though. Not disappointing team. There's been some. Oklahoma City should have won a championship when they had their team. That would say.
But at least Oklahoma City made it to the finals, where they had to
still
face LeBron.
Still, that was a disappointing because that team should have won. There was a couple other teams, from back then.
But you got to think, you have the highest payroll ever.
Yeah, it's still.
And you're gonna miss the playoffs.
It's because they're the worst Big 3 ever. The payrolls, those 3 guys. That is it. The team is not. It's just them 3. So I'm not saying the most disappointing team because they're not a team. It's 3 guys. It's all this damn team is. This team sucks. We all knew this team would suck when this all happened. It's the worst Big 3
I saw the quote.
This is worse than Poopy Pants Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and
on the Nets.
Yeah,
on the Nets.
This is worse.
I mean, you could honestly compare this to the Nets team that had Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett.
No, it's Poopy Pants. It's Poopy Pants Paul Pierce.
Because the Nets also gave up their future.
Yeah, which Jason
helped.
Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So.
And also you're going to talk about how later on, the Suns gave up their complete future. Remember that this team, before they got Durant, made it to an NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Led by, of course, they lost to the Bucks in that Finals, but led by Devin Booker. You had Mikal Bridges. You had Cameron Johnson, none of whom were on the same team. You had DeAndre Ayton.
When he was good.
Yeah. You then, trade all of them away. You bring in Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant worked. It worked with him and Booker.
Yeah.
And it's worked this year with him and Booker. Him and Booker without Beal. Not to take anything away from Bradley Beal. Because Bradley Beal is still a great player. He just does not fit the system. He also does not fit them because they don't have a true point guard.
Yeah.
If they had a true point guard, this may be a different story, but they don't have a true point guard. They either use Beal at point guard, they use Booker at point guard.
They're not point guards. They're shooting guards.
Yeah.
Small forward.
And they've given up their whole future. Of course, they traded away Ayton in the Damian Lillard deal. They got the Bucks Dame. And to be honest, that's hurt them more than anything, I would say, of any other trade that they made, although Cameron Johnson has been great with the Nets this season. Mikal Bridges has been okay for the Knicks. I'm not going to say great because, But they don't have a center. You saw them try to make moves for a center this year. It didn't work.
This team just sucks.
Yeah. I will say it's the worst big three ever. I'm not going to go most disappointing. Although this is... They're up there. They're top three.
Yeah.
Most disappointing teams.
When I consider a team, I consider a team of an actual team. This was 3 guys. This is all this team was.
So for the offseason, since Durant and Booker...
They blow it up. They keep D Book and that's it. You keep Devin Booker because he's kind of the future of your team. He's been the future of your team. If he doesn't want to stay, though, then that's a problem.
If he doesn't want to stay, that may be the best thing that can happen to the Suns because they're going to get more for Devin Booker than they will get for Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal combined.
Yeah.
Because they are going to want a lot back for Devin Booker.
Maybe they just could do a complete rebuild.
They have some solid young guys. Ryan Dawn, Colin Gillespie, who's still on a 2-way contract for some stupid-ass reason, although, he's been one of their best players over the last few weeks. Oso Ighodaro, if they just gave him more minutes instead of playing Mason Plumlee's old ass all the time.
Tumani, too.
Yeah, that's another guy they traded in that the Dame 3-team or however many team deal.
Yeah.
Who has turned into one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, which, the Suns don't have, because all they have is offense and absolutely zero defense. To be honest, I'd like to see Booker and KD return, but it's not going to happen. You already saw it at the deadline whenever you listen to offers for Kevin Durant's trade deadline, he's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we've seen the last time Kevin Durant's been in a Suns uniform. 2 Sundays ago against the Rockets is when he suffered a sprained ankle. He's still out. If they don't have a shot at the postseason, they're eliminated. There's no way they bring him back.
I want it.
So
don't risk it.
So the regular season ends on Sunday. The play-in begins next Tuesday, and then the playoffs begin the following week. We will give our NBA playoff predictions next week. Can't wait. It's going to be a very interesting playoffs, especially in the Western Conference. Moving on to baseball, the Blue Jays signed Vlad Guerrero Jr. to a 14-year, $500 million extension. Of course, this comes after Vlad said that he would not listen to contract offers during the regular season. Your thoughts?
You killed your future guy. I mean, it pretty much tells Bo you're done. You're not a Blue Jay anymore. What tells me that they're pretty much going to move on from everybody else but Vlad and build around Vlad, which, in my opinion, is the best decision they could have done. You lock down your future guy that is one of the best players in baseball when he's guys head on straight. You trade away Bo and a couple other guys and you build around him, and I think the Blue Jays may be back in a couple seasons.
I also hope they keep Anthony Sondon there.
They have
stuff like that,
yeah.
Just because they signed him to that contract in the offseason.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I like the deal. The worst thing that came out of this deal was for any other team that needed to sign somebody, including the Chicago Cubs with Kyle Tucker, because he's going to want more than this, and there is absolutely a 0% chance that the Cubs actually dish out the money to do it, because, as you've seen in the past, the Cubs refuse to spend money.
Yeah. It just sucks to have a low... You can't say Cubs are a small market team. They're one of the biggest market teams. They just don't spend their damn money.
And it's going to be even worse with Kyle Tucker, because Kyle Tucker is the best player in baseball right now.
Yeah.
He has had an unbelievable start to the season.
Yeah.
And if he continues on that line, he's going to be in for a massive payday. Jackson Merrill lands on the IL with a right hamstring strain. The Padres did become the first team to reach 10 wins this season. Zach Eflin is set to be placed on the IL with a lat injury. This is another blow to the Orioles' rotation that just continues to be decimated by injuries. The good news for the Orioles is that Gunnar is back. Jackson Holliday is playing extremely well. He switched up his swing. Ketel Marte is set to be out multiple weeks due to a hamstring injury. This is a massive blow to the Arizona Diamondbacks, who's had a great start to the season, besides losing 2-3 to my Washington Nationals. But, I mean, we also just took 2 out of 3 from the mighty Dodgers, who are not as mighty as everybody thinks right now.
Just wait.
Yeah. Talking about the Dodgers, Freddie Freeman is expected to return against the Cubs. They start their series against the Cubs tomorrow. Wyatt Langford goes on the IL with a right oblique strain. He's hit 4 home runs this season, batting over .250 for the Rangers. Talking about the Nationals, I just had to throw this in here. James Wood hits 2 home runs as the Nationals take 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. First career multi-home run game. He has been on fire to start the season.
Just second.
Is it?
Yes, he did last year.
Did he?
Yeah.
When?
I think it's a second game with multiple home runs.
You sure about that?
Yeah. You want to look it up?
No, I don't. I trust you as a baseball guy.
Pretty sure he did it last year.
Okay.
Pretty sure he did it within his first 3 weeks in his career. Because that's when his college blew up. Absolutely exploded.
And Pablo Lopez is set to undergo an MRI on his hamstring. Could be placed on the IL. Although for the Twins right now, nothing can go right.
Yeah. It's the Twins.
Royce Lewis. Talking about the Twins, Royce Lewis, they're not their manager, but president of baseball operations, came out and said that they expected him to be back within, like a week to 2 weeks. He's going to miss at least 3 weeks before he begins a minor league rehab.
So 4 weeks, possibly.
He's going to be out over a month. Longer.
This dude's body needs to be studied. What is wrong
the
with
whole
this dude?
team's.
Yeah. The whole Twins. If I'm the Twins, why does every one of all players get hurt, but nobody else does?
Talking about the Twins, guess who else got hurt today?
Byron Buxton.
No, minor leagues.
Walker Jenkins.
Yes, he did. With an ankle injury.
Nice. That sucks. I just bought one of those autos. The Twins organization needs to be studied.
They need to go in to their, training staff and just be like, you know what? You are fired.
Get out now and we'll start fresh.
Because whatever they're doing ain't working.
Because I've never seen a more injury-riddled team in my life. This is the Kevin Durant of teams. This team is injured all year.
This is Zion Williamson.
Just think this team could stay healthy.
Oh, they'd be great.
You have Byron Buxton, who's an MVP caliber player when he's healthy. You have Royce Lewis, who hits 10 grand slams in 2 at-bats, it seems like, when he's healthy. And then Carlos Correa also came off one of his best seasons of his career last year, if he could stay healthy. And the pitching staff can stay healthy. You have a good team. Ugh, gosh. I'm sorry for the Twins fans, but there's not many of you out there, so who really cares?
Okay. You have anything else for baseball?
You said there's something else. Did you talk about the Skeens?
Oh, I completely skipped over that. Skeens had his worst career start. It's amazing to say for a pitcher of his age. He allowed 5 runs against the Cardinals in a loss yesterday. The fact that that's his worst career start,
it's pretty impressive.
Is impressive. Pirates did come back and win today, in 13 innings. Eric Fedde had a no-hitter through 6 innings, and Marmol took him out because Marmol's the worst manager in baseball. Just like the Cardinals are very close to being the worst organization in baseball.
Yeah.
They're challenging the White Sox and the Angels, although the Angels are
The Yankees
playing
been
great.
playing good. Kylan Palos has been awesome.
Has he?
Yeah.
Dude's a beast in the show. He was a beast in the show a couple years ago.
Kylan Palos.
Dude hits nukes and has 99 speed.
He's very fast.
Mike Trout's also been on fire.
Yeah.
Let's just pray that he stays healthy.
Knock on wood.
And as we did that, he probably just got injured. Because that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Moving on to college basketball. Florida defeated Houston 65-63 to win the national title. Congratulations to you on picking the champion. If Duke would not have blown a... I don't even know how to explain their game against Houston.
It was
in the
a
Final Four.
complete defensive meltdown, is what it was.
Yeah. I will say that the call that they had on Cooper Flag at the end of the game was terrible. But Duke allowed it to happen.
You shouldn't let one call define a game.
Of course, then Houston turned around and gave up a 12-point lead to Florida. Walter Clayton Jr. won Most Outstanding Player. We all knew that was going to happen if they won.
Yeah.
Dude is going to be an absolute star. There were analysts comparing him to Stephen Curry and Damian Lillard, and that he could, if they were a team, they would take him in the top 5. I'm not going to go that far.
I would say top 20.
The last mock that I saw had the Celtics taking him towards the end of the first round.
I wouldn't mind that.
To be honest, this was a great game.
It was. It was close pretty much the whole game.
I do not get what Houston was doing at the end of the game.
Yeah.
For one, you should have went for a 2-for-1. And not to take anything away from Kelvin Sampson. Dude's one of the best
Is that Ralph
coaches.
Sampson's kid?
No.
No relation at all.
I don't think
So
so.
I think Ralph Sampson went to Houston, didn't he?
I don't believe
I
so.
thought there was. I thought it was some relation.
I know that his son is the next in line to coach there because he's on the coaching staff. Kelvin's, not Ralph's.
Yeah.
But the fact that you don't go for a 2-for-1,
The fact that you didn't get a shot up
And,
in
yes.
crunch time is...
you have 20 seconds and you don't get a shot up. You got to drive. You're down 2. You drive, and you see if you can kick it out.
Or draw a foul and get 2 free throws.
You do not hold the ball and try with Florida's defense
Yeah.
to make a 3, which you are not the best team at doing in shooting the ball. And then the fact that the guy who decided to make the final play did not know what he was doing at all.
Could he not touch the ball?
No.
Because it would have been a double dribble?
Yeah,
Okay.
technically it would have been a travel.
Okay.
As soon as I had to look up the rule because
He picked it up.
I thought that
I
Like
think you
if-
just throw it off the ground and you can... Because it'll be a shot.
in college basketball, if you have both feet off the ground and you're going into a shooting motion and then you go to dribble the ball, you cannot touch the ball or it's a travel.
Okay. I was confused now. I'm like, why can't he pick it back up?
I was that same way.
I think you still should have shot it.
At that time you had to.
Draw a foul if you can.
Yeah.
Kick out, you know.
Congrats to Florida. I mean, they were clearly the best team. It would have been a much better game if it was Florida Duke, in my opinion.
Still a good game, though.
Oh, it was.
Probably the best March Madness championship game past couple years.
The Final Four was the most watched Final Four since 2017, which I find amazing.
I don't get the top 4 seeds. Everyone's going to want to watch that.
I will say that with the end of that game, I was scrolling through Twitter afterwards, and one guy said that just like the tournament, it was a fitting into the tournament being a boring finish with them not getting a shot off. That it kind of summed up how the tournament went, because it was kind of a boring tournament. And I believe in the future it's going to continue to be the same way, because with NIL and the transfer portal and everything else, you're going to continue to see these top guys. You're not going to see upsets anymore.
Yeah.
There's going to be very limited upsets. So, Cooper Flag was named the AP Player of the Year and the Wooden Award winner. On the women's side, UConn defeated South Carolina 82-59 to win the national title. Is it AZ or Azzy?
I think it's Azzy Fudd.
Okay. Azzy Fudd was named the most outstanding player. I don't want to screw up her name. She's too good to
She's
screw up her
very
name.
good. The whole team is freaking good. Sale's strong. They're all good.
Paige Beckers.
Everybody knows Paige Beckers is good. You don't have to freaking say her name.
Juju Watkins won the Wooden Award.
What's the Wooden? Is that the MVP? Kind of.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
So college basketball is officially over.
So is Cooper Flag going to the draft? That's the big talk.
Everybody's going into the draft.
You think?
Yes. Cooper Flag's going to go. There's no way
So he goes number 1.
that, yes.
2, whoever gets number 1 pick. Which we don't know who it is.
San Antonio Spurs.
That happens, it's rigged.
Dude, if that happens, I'll be the happiest man alive. I'll be happier than when we got Wemby. All I got to say, you do that. You trade away some of your bench guys that suck, like Devin Vassell. No offense. I love you, Devin.
You loved Devin.
I still do love Devin.
But if you can get a chance at Cooper Flag,
But no, if we get the first overall pick.
I don't think you can get the first pick.
But if we win the first pick, shut up. And then we trade away some of our other guys and bring in somebody like Kevin Durant or somebody like that. And you have a starting lineup of Fox, Castle, Durant, Flag, Wemby.
That's a 2K lineup.
Who's beating us? Who's beating us?
The Celtics.
Yeah, after they trade away all their play. You know, they're going to try for Kevin Durant this summer.
No, please don't.
The worst thing you can do is trade Kristaps Porzingis, and if you guys trade Kristaps Porzingis, I pray that we bring him next to Wemby. I know he's injury prone, but I love my boy Kristaps. And if you watch the Knicks Celtics game last night, you can see what Kristaps can do. You hit 8 threes in the game. They weren't just threes. They were deep as hell.
Steph Curry range.
It was amazing to watch.
And he's also great defensively. He's a pony.
It helps that he's a unicorn.
I thought his name was Pony.
Unicorn.
Like his nickname.
Unicorn. Technically, his nickname is Tingus Pingus.
That's true. 2K legend.
I bet that Knicks fan like said, you know, who the hell's Tingus Pingus?
You good too.
Yeah.
Dingus Pingus.
Because to be honest, he's better than all but like 2 players on the Knicks,
Yeah.
and I'm barely putting Towns ahead of him
I don't
because
know.
of defense.
The way Towns is playing, though, you can't.
Yeah, but Towns plays 0 defense.
Yeah.
He proved that last night against
Yeah.
Porzingis.
But he's definitely probably the best shooting big man of all time.
Hang on, other sports. Brian Harman won the Valero Texas Open. Of course, this is the best weekend in golf. It is Masters week.
Oh, is it really?
Yes, it is.
So in Augusta now?
Yes, they are.
Oh.
Today was a par 3 tournament. It was headlined by Rory McIlroy's daughter, Poppy, who hit a unbelievable putt that, you know, I don't even think her dad could hit.
Because her dad sucks at putting.
So, who wins the Masters? The favorite.
I don't want to say Scotty.
The favorite is, of course, Scotty Scheffler.
I don't want to say Scotty. I'm going to go Xander Schauffele.
Everybody else is picking Xander. I am
No.
going...
Oh, it's his name. He's got a goofy name. He's young and good.
Colin Morikawa.
Avon.
Ludwig Oberg.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him. Because he's really good.
I'm going to go with a guy who's in the same first-round tee time as Ludwig Oberg. I'm going to go, he finally completes all 4 majors and gets the green jacket. I am going with Rory McIlroy. He has been the best golfer in the world this season.
You know,
And I believe yes, I do. Because he always does. But I think that this is his best shot to win a green jacket. And although I am not a huge fan of Rory,
he's one of the greatest of all time.
he is. I cannot wait for Sunday.
You gonna watch it?
Oh, I'm gonna have Masters on the TV. I'm gonna have Bristol on the laptop.
So you're not going with me to the show?
I'll go
on Sunday?
We're going Saturday.
I'm going Sunday too, probably in the morning.
Well, I ain't going Sunday. I gotta work Sunday because I told my boss at work. So yeah. Denny Hamlin wins at Darlington, 2nd consecutive win. His team was perfect on pit road at the end of the race. I wrote my first NASCAR article on that because he compared it to Houston coming back against Duke, which was actually a really good comparison.
Right.
Bristol is this weekend. Who wins?
Christopher Bell.
I'm going. He failed by 1 race at Homestead to complete the sweep of the weekend. Of course, the only person who's ever swept all 3 series same weekend is Kyle Busch, who's done it at Bristol twice. But there's one guy that is in all 3 races this weekend once again, and he will complete the Bristol sweep. I am going with Kyle Larson.
Hopefully his score's better than it was last week.
Yeah. Hopefully he also doesn't, run out of talent.
Bubba helped him on the second time.
I'm not talking about, last week. I'm talking about overall. Like,
Yeah.
he wrecks himself a lot.
Yeah. He's just aggressive. He likes to drive hard.
He's sometimes too aggressive.
Yeah.
IndyCar is at Long Beach this weekend after their, month-long absence.
Yeah.
Who won?
Joseph Newgarden.
I'm pretty sure you picked Joseph in every race so far, and he has yet to win.
I picked Palou.
Oh, did you?
I picked Palou to win a championship, I think.
I'm going to go
There's
with...
3 guys that win every IndyCar race. It's Palou, Newgarden, and Dixon. That's a it.
Pato Award.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Will Power.
Those 4 guys.
Scott McLaughlin. That's who I'm picking.
Okay.
He's going to win this weekend. Max Verstappen wins the Japanese Grand Prix.
Yeah, I didn't see Max Verstappen.
The Bahrain Grand Prix is this weekend. Who wins?
Max Verstappen!
I'm going with the guy who finished second to Verstappen last week, Lando Norris.
How did Yuki do?
No idea. I didn't watch it. You said you watched the race.
I fell asleep.
Well, I didn't watch it, and I didn't even know Max won until I looked it up earlier today.
Until just now. That's how much I kind of care about F1.
It would be better if they weren't on, at 2 a.m.
Well, I mean, it's in Japan. What do you expect?
Of course, the biggest news of the week out of sports is Alexander Ovechkin broke Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record. He now has 895 career goals. He is the best goal scorer ever. He is not the best player ever. It's all of you saying that he's the best player ever. Nobody will overtop Wayne Gretzky. You cannot beat Wayne Gretzky until you beat his scoring record, which will never, ever be broken. I will say Ovechkin is top 3.
Yeah, for sure.
I might still put Lemieux above him.
It's close.
Just because Lemieux would have broke Gretzky's scoring goal record if he wouldn't have had injury problems.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
Mm-mm.
Thank you guys for listening. Come back here next week. Enjoy baseball. Enjoy the NBA. The final stretch of the NBA regular season before the play-in next week. Of course, we will give our playoff predictions next week, so be prepared for that. Thank you for listening. Peace.